2023 UNK Alumni Association Awards Luncheon. I'm Hilton Meyer, a 2012 and 2019 graduate of UNK and the outgoing president of the Alumni Association Lead Council. It has been such an honor to serve in this capacity the past few years. And similar to when I was a student, homecoming really is my favorite time of the academic year. And now as an alumna, this particular award luncheon is the highlight of the entire weekend, so I'm glad you were able to join us. Since 1980, we have been recognizing our outstanding alumni, and we are excited to celebrate the accomplishments of 9 individuals today. Dusty Burge, Brian Bulkey, Tim Carmen, Ruth Harding, Maureen Nichols, Tim Schlotman, Ryan Torek, Alexi Wellman, and Justin Zaleski. Each one of them has a unique story that you will hear more about later. But now it's my pleasure to welcome Lucas Dart, a 1997 UNK graduate and the Vice President of Alumni Relations and Development for the UNK Alumni Association and the University of Nebraska Foundation, to the stage.
Welcome to the 100th homecoming celebration at UNK. I bet you didn't know. You know, we had our first graduating class in 1906, and so it took some 17 years for them to decide, hey, we should do a homecoming. And it was similar to what we do now. There was a vaudeville act. I don't think we're doing that. We will have musical performances. We've had some pep rally-like activities, and we are going to have a football game, but, you know, come to think of it, Jonesy, what was it like? What did you guys do?
It was very nice.
Maybe Runstrom knows. Where's Jim? There he is. Hey. Figured you guys planned the first homecoming. No, it's always a wonderful time to get everybody together. It's always great for me personally to see personal friends of mine, but then people I know who've been associated with the university for a long time, and to celebrate all that connects us as Lopers. And so, you know, take some time to look around. I think I gave a tour to a couple old friends this morning, and the shock and awe factor was in full effect. When you look around this campus, you look at some of the new buildings, the ones that aren't here, you may need a tour guide if you haven't been around for a long time, with things like the West Center, the addition, the renovated West Center, and more to come on that project. The Regional Engagement Alumni Center, the Greek Village to our east, and the big hole in the ground on the west side of campus that's going to be the Rural Health Education Building. Those are game-changing projects for UNK and in some cases for our state. So I hope you'll have a chance to look around a little bit. I want to introduce some folks who are here today on behalf of the university, the leadership of the university. I would ask you to stand, remain standing, and if you're inclined to applaud, why we do that at the end of the introduction. So Julie Schaefer's here. She's the interim senior vice chancellor for academic affairs. Hold on a second here. Wait a minute. No, you guys, okay, let me go through this again. You got to stay standing, and everybody else holds their applause. Do what moves you. It's okay. It's okay. Kelly Bartling, Vice Chancellor for Enrollment Management and Marketing. Kelly here? There she is. Mark Reed, Dean of the College of Education. Paul Twigg, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Tim Jarris, Dean of the College of Business and Technology. Evan Boyd, Dean of the Library. Mark Bauer, Director of Athletics. George Holman, Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. Maha Yunus, our Chief Diversity Officer. Maha, make it in? All right. Let's lead applause for the leaders of our campus. Also would point out that we're honored to have the state of Nebraska's Lieutenant Governor Joe Kelly, who's here with his Loper alum wife, Susie. Over here. They're guests of Tim Schlotman, one of our honorees today, so thanks for joining us. We also have the opportunity to recognize some of our past award winners who are here with us today, so I would ask you to stand and remain standing as I call your name. Jim Runstrom. Jerry and Nancy Dulitz, Roger Jones, Bob Ferris, Phil Gaffney, Diane Bystrom, Angela and Travis Holman, Rakesh Srivastava, Jane and Pete Katsiopoulos, Larry Hardesty, Don Clark, Julie Spears, John Clinch, Becky Faber, Dr. Mary Cox, Dave Thorell, Dr. Charles Shepler, John Wolf, Barry Sherman, and Dan O'Neill. Our applause.
Thanks to the UNK Communications team, we have the opportunity to share a glimpse of campus life and the accomplishments of our students, staff, and faculty from this past academic year with you. Enjoy. There is so much to celebrate at the University of Nebraska at Kearney, and that's what this weekend is all about. In addition to today's awards luncheon, 5 new members of the UNK Athletic Hall of Fame will be inducted tonight, and there's a full day of celebration happening tomorrow. It truly is a great time to be a Loper. It's my pleasure to now introduce Dr. Bryce Abbey, a 2004 and 2006 UNK graduate and the newly elected president of the UNK Alumni Association's the council. Bryce.
I can appreciate not having to move the mic. Our distinguished alumni are making a difference every day, whether they've excelled in their careers, given back to their communities, or to UNK. Some of these individuals have done all of these things. They deserve our appreciation and recognition. Congratulations to you, our honorees. Your careers and accomplishments have earned you this distinction, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you, each of you, this afternoon. Thank you for your being tremendous role models for all of us. I also want to thank and recognize the UNK Glass Club students for hand-making the distinguished alumni awards that you can see on the stage. They did a terrific job. I hope all of you enjoy this special day and weekend, and go Lopers.
It is now my honor to welcome our newest class of distinguished alumni. As each of our recipients are recognized, I'll ask that you come to the stage during your introduction. We'll start with our Distinguished Alumni Award recipients. I'd also like to invite Lucas Dart and our first recipient, Brian Bulke, to the stage. Words like advocate, community leader, supporter, cheerleader, and friend have been used to describe Dr. Brian Bulke. The Kearney native earned a Bachelor of Science degree in biology with an environmental health emphasis from UNK in 1993. During his time at UNK, Brian was a member of Phi Delta Theta fraternity, was a member of Mortarboard, served as a biology tutor for the football team, and even took a few shots at the infamous Campus Crows with chemistry professor Dr. Rourke. Brian, we can't wait to hear that story. Brian credits genetic professor, the late Dr. Doug Lund, with helping build his confidence to continue his education and pursuit of medicine. Following his graduation from UNK, Brian worked in the biology department as a grad student and had the opportunity to collaborate with UNK's Dr. Kim Carlson, Darby Carlson, Peggy Abels, and the late Heath Kubler, on his first publication. He then went on to earn his Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine in 1999 from the University of Osteopathic Medicine and Health Sciences in Des Moines, Iowa, and completed his family practice residency through the University of Iowa at Mercy Family Medicine in Mason City, Iowa in 2002. He then accepted positions in Central City and Genoa. Since 2007, Brian has been the trauma director and is also currently serving as the chief of staff for the Merrick Medical Center in Central City. He has served as an American Academy of Family Physicians Fellow since 2008. He's also been recognized as the National Rural Provider of the Year for Nebraska, UNMC Adjunct Professor of the Year, Nebraska Rural Physician of the Year, Brian LGH Trauma Champion, Nebraska Medicine Association's Young Physician of the Year, Nebraska Medicine's Young Physician of the Year, and EMS Physician Medical Director of the Year, among many more awards. He currently serves as a UNMC Medical Student Preceptor and Adjunct Professor, and is an active leader for the annual Rural Healthcare Leadership Conference. Brian currently serves on the Central City Public School Board of Education as Vice President-elect and is the President-elect of the Central City Economic Development Corporation. He's a dedicated volunteer for additional organizations in Central City, which also includes being the voice of Benny the Bison for the Booster Club. Brian and his wife Amy, also a UNK graduate, reside in Central City and share their love of the outdoors and adventure with their 3 daughters. Their oldest daughter, Ella, is in the K-HOP program here at UNK and is a member of the cross-country and track teams. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Brian Bulke.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate this. I am honored and humbled to stand in front of you. I was trying to come up with a word, like what word would be best to describe my feelings and emotions today? Like maybe a quip or maybe a phrase. I even contemplated coming up here to tell you like a story or a poem or something like that. So as she said, you can see I'm really involved in UNK. It's been a part of my entire life. Even in elementary school, she didn't mention any elementary school stuff, but some of my fondest memories at UNK, my dad was a huge Loper basketball fan, and so we went to every single game. I can tell you everything there is to know about Cushing Coliseum, how it smells, how it sounded, what bleachers look like. We sat next to Fred and Nancy George, and Fred taught me everything there is to know about yelling at the refs. My heroes growing up were people like Randy Cipriano, Tim Higgins, Lauren Killian, middle school, Bart Cookwood, and my high school, I looked up to most to Joel Fisher. So, thank you very much for this award. I appreciate it, and my word is thank you.
It's my honor to invite our next recipient, Tim Carmen. Tim Carmen is a James Beard Award-winning food writer and columnist at the Washington Post. Tim's journalism career started with the Kansas City Star before he moved on to the Houston Post, the Houston Grand Opera, Sidewalk.com, the Houston Press, and the Humane Society of the United States. Before joining the Post in 2010, he served as food editor and columnist at the Washington City paper. Tim focuses on national food issues and is a critic covering affordable and under-the-radar residents in the Washington, D.C. area. Since 2013, he's also written a weekly column featuring primarily small mom-and-pop restaurants. Those reviews go beyond just discussing the quality of the food. He dives into the history of the cuisine as well as the story of the restaurant's owners and cooks. His work has appeared in numerous editions of the Best Food Writing Collection. He's also written for Imbibe Magazine, American Scholar, Food Network Magazine, and other publications. His unique approach to reporting has earned him several awards in addition to the James Beard Award from the International Association of Culinary Professionals and the Society of Features Journalism. Tim is also a member of the Washington-Baltimore News Guild. He's a regular contributor to various UNK student experiences as well. He shares his time as a class lecturer, and a few years ago he met with students attending a conference in Washington, D.C., where he also co-presented on food writing with the then UNK Antelope newspaper advisor. He spent his time at Kearney State College started his love for journalism and food. Tim spent time as part of the Antelope newspaper staff and co-hosting a program on the campus radio station. And I guess that's even though he and his co-host were fired for throwing out unlistenable comments. Hey, you gotta rock the boat and so on. Faculty and staff like Bobby McKenzie, Jim Runstrom, Dan Mosier, and Liz Watts, and even the Chinese-American takeout restaurant near campus, Oriental Express? Is that what it was? It was when I was there, okay? They all inspired his passion. Tim is an Omaha Burke High School graduate and Burke High School Hall of Fame member. He earned his degree in advertising and journalism from Kearney State College in 1984, was on the honor roll and a member of Alpha Tau Omega fraternity. Tim also holds a certificate in culinary fundamentals. Tim and his wife Carrie live in Hyattsville, Maryland with their 2 dogs, and he spends his free time he has reading, barbecuing, binge watching the latest must-see TV with Carrie, and collecting better records than he had to play during his shift at the college radio station. Please help me congratulate Tim Carmen.
Well, because I'm a writer, I wrote down what I wanted to say. Well, first of all, thank you for this honor. I wanted to thank Dr. Hansen. I don't know if Dr. Hansen is here. Thank you for putting the application in. I know it was a lot of work. And thank you for the foundation, the Alumni Foundation and the university for voting me. I'm sure there were many, many qualified candidates. So I'm really honored to get it. I mean, it's been a long journey. It's been 40 years since I've been here, and I was trying to remember like what my goals were in 1984 when I graduated. And I think they were basically in this order. I wanted to be a member of the Rolling Stones, and maybe carry Keith's guitars around for a while. Really what I wanted was just a taste of kind of a rock and roll obscene culture, something that I didn't grow up with. Either that, or I wanted to be like the John Steinbeck of the Midwest, take my dog Bubba and just go to the RV and roam around the country and write about it. Neither of those things came to pass. I instead graduated here in 1984, a large part thanks to my dad and my stepmother. My stepmother Connie is here. They paid every last cent for us to go to college, and that put me so far ahead of the curve. I didn't have any debt, which is an unbelievable start to a career. It allowed me to take my first job at the Kansas City Star, where I was paid a large sum of $12,000 a year, and I couldn't have done that with that kind of start. But it gave me the job. I think when I left UNK, then known as Kearney State, I wasn't even sure I wanted to be a journalist. I really wanted to be a writer, but I wasn't sure journalism would be the path. And it was only when I started the Kansas City Star that I realized that I had sort of backed into the exact job that I was perfectly suited for. It was a job that let me, as one fictional character once said about the press, comfort the afflicted and, on occasion, afflict the comfortable. And that's the role of the press. And even in the food writing world, there is opportunities to perform the function of the press. And I think I was thinking about this. It's like my time in Kearney and in Nebraska, they were very formative. And one thing an editor told me a long time ago was to be a good journalist, you had to be of good character. And because of that situation, because sometimes you are writing about people's worst days of their lives, and that's a bad place to be in for the person that's being covered, and sometimes as a member of the press. But in order to do that, you have to be of good character, and your conduct has to be, outstanding as well. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, far from it, but I grew up in Nebraska. I grew up with certain values of hard work, of being responsible, and it started really here with my family, in Nebraska, with my father, and here at Kearney State. I learned to be a good character and to be a good part of the community, and it has served me very, very well. Thank you very much, folks.
I would like to invite our next recipient, Tim Schlotman, to the stage. Tim Schlotman's career spans television comedy, drama, animation, and film. The Kearney native fueled his passion during his time at Kearney State College by working at the local radio stations, KGFW and KQKY, while also earning academic honors, including being a member of Psi Chi Psychology Honor Society and graduating cum laude. He graduated from Kearney State College with a broadcasting degree in 1985. Tim made his way to Los Angeles, California after earning a Master of Arts degree in speech communication from Colorado State University. His notable writing credits include Roseanne, Smallville, Under the Dome, and Insatiable. His most well-known and regarded work was for the show Dexter. He even managed to work in a trip for the main character, Dexter, to Kearney for an episode appropriately named Nebraska. Tim has also served as co-executive or executive producer on multiple projects in collaboration with J.J. Abrams, Steven Spielberg, Stephen King, M. Night Shyamalan, Eva Longoria, and Pierce Brosnan, if you've heard of any of those people before. His work has earned multiple nominations from the Primetime Emmys for Best Dramatic Series as a writer-producer, the Writers Guild of America for individual achievements in writing, the Golden Globes for Best Television Drama as a writer-producer, and Best Writing in a Dramatic Series by Online Film and Television. In 2007, Tim received the prestigious Peabody Award. He is a longtime member of the Writers Guild of America and the Television Academy of Arts and Sciences. Tim is a frequent guest for UNK communication students and has been a regular guest of the Nebraska Coast Connection, a social and business networking association made up of former Nebraskans now residing in Southern California and working in the entertainment industry. It is my true privilege to present this award to Tim Schlottman.
First, just let me comment on the Alumni Association's choice for asparagus, the gift that keeps on giving. I'd like to say how glad I am to be here today and not on a picket line. It's been a rough 5 months. And for those of you who are wondering why, yes, my mullet was a perm. It was the 80s, what are you gonna do? But that is not why we're here. One of the things I'm probably asked the most is, how did I get from Kearney, Nebraska to Hollywood? Well, one of the answers to that question is my special guest today, my 9th grade English teacher, Julie Roach. So, in addition to teaching English, she also taught a course called Communication Arts. It was a creative class, plays and acting and writing, multimedia projects, and when I say multimedia projects, we're talking slideshows and audio cassettes, real high-tech stuff. But it was in that class that I found my creative voice because of Mrs. Roach's encouragement and her validation that I indeed had a gift. Now, I'm not sure at that time she realized my gift would be writing about a serial killer who cuts up people and puts them into garbage bags. You'll have to ask her. But for every educator in this room today, what you do, and in the case of Mrs. Roach, what you did truly shapes and changes lives, is valuable beyond measure, and should also be recognized as a gift. The other thing that got me to California, ironically, is connected to this weekend's homecoming. So I'd been working in local radio and decided I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a radio DJ my entire life. So I didn't know what else to do, so I went to grad school at Colorado State, and upon receiving my master's degree, I took a full-time faculty position at Washburn University. Let me just say that the 3 years living in Topeka, Kansas, became my motivation to do more with my life and to pursue my dream of becoming a writer. Not to bag on Kansas, but little known fact, Topeka is Native American for get me the hell out of here. And I have not been back to the land of Oz since. And finally, once in Los Angeles, I think one of the things that helped me the most to build a career in a very competitive and cutthroat business is something that I can attribute to my parents, Kearney, and the university. And that's my work ethic. You know, they say no one works harder than a drunk trying to whisper a secret. Well, as many of you in this room know, no one works harder than someone that is born and raised in Nebraska. So basically, that's how I got from Kearney to Hollywood, and why I'm back home and in this room today to humbly accept this award. Thank you.
So Tim, do you know who we're playing tomorrow in football? The Ichabods. All right. The page got turned. The Jim Runstrom, excuse me, Distinguished Alumni Service Award honors individuals who have given above and beyond when it comes to their efforts on behalf of the Alumni Association and the UNK campus. It was named in 2008 for longtime alumni director, our good friend Jim Runstrom. Please welcome Ryan Torick to the stage. Ryan Torick, an Omaha native and Westside High School graduate, has been a longtime volunteer for the UNK Alumni Association. The choice to attend UNK and become a member of the Greek community were life-changing decisions for Ryan. He was a leader for Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity as pledge class president, the vice president, and the chapter president, and was selected as the 1998 Order of Omega Greek Man of the Year. This involvement encouraged his additional campus participation, including Campus Crusade and student government, as well as a part-time job for the local print shop designing many campus organizations' event t-shirts. Those experiences positioned Ryan to be a leader amongst UNK alumni living in Southern California for most of the years since his graduation, including service as a board member and president of the former UNK Southern California Alumni Association. In recent years, Ryan and his wife, Andrea, have hosted many alumni functions in the Mission Viejo, California area in their home. He's also continued to play an active role within the UNK Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity alumni community. Ryan is an enterprise account executive for Master Control, providing quality management solutions. He previously worked as an enterprise account executive for Pluralsight, Viva, and Oracle. Ryan was also an active volunteer for many years with the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization in Southern California. As you can see from the pictures, adventure is second nature to Ryan and his family. He's completed more than 50 obstacle course races, including the world's toughest mudder twice, the Summer Death Race in 2012, and the Sisu Iron, which is an extreme endurance event, 7 times. I didn't realize when I knew Ryan in college he was a glutton for punishment also. Impressive. His kids have joined the fun and completed a few races of their own, and his family loves hitting the nearby beach and enjoying long weekends with their camper in the great outdoors. Ryan graduated with a business administration major and marketing minor from UNK, 1998. He also has his MBA from University of Phoenix. Ryan, I appreciate your volunteerism. You've been a great stalwart for us, and I want to congratulate you.
Thank you all. This is pretty exciting. I did the calculation though, and this will be my 25th year since I've graduated, so I wasn't really happy about that. You know, in coming to UNK, there's really only one regret that I have about my experience at UNK, and that's that I graduated in 4 years, and I saw that would take 5 years, and I wish I would have had that extra year here. So my liver thanks me, but I'm glad I got done in 4. So I did want to thank my family. Andrea, Jackson, Chloe, it's their first time here. We toured URN, so they got to see my room in college. They got to go through back the experience and understand what we've done there, which was a great time. But I really did enjoy college. I was a student athlete for 3 weeks until I got lost in the country with the cross country team. They ran and took a left, and I took a right, and I got lost. And I'm a lot better at intramurals. So, and with SIGEP, it was quite the experience. That was one of the formative experiences, is being part of that. We had Roger Jones and Pete Katsopoulos here, awesome alumni as well. But really, when I was there, we were in debt. We had to work for the university, moving desks, moving stuff, cutting lawns, paying back debt. But now they've turned around. When I was there, we implemented the Balanced Land program, and now they're going to 9 buck cups, and it's a lot of just Alex Stratton, which has been a great time there. So, And also the college experience here is so good. The only thing is that there's no selling programs. I'm in sales. I've been in sales for so many years, and that's what I do. So it's like, I hope that selling has just been a great aspect. I love it. But college has paid off so much for me. Really, at my first job interview, I went in and I was doing the interview, and I was with the senior vice president at Info USA in Omaha. And halfway through the interview, he says a word that only a SIG-Up would know, and I'm like, no way, man! This networking stuff pays off. Like he was a SIG-Up. We got hired there. And eventually that led me to, I talked a lot about, I was living in Omaha, and I was working and having a great time, but I knew a couple of girls wanted to move to California and play volleyball. I'm like, that sounds awesome. I think I should go to California and play volleyball and do that. Sounds really good. And then one day I was just standing there, and I was talking about it. My two friends, Curtis and Mike, were sitting down, and my friend says, quit your yapping or make it happen. So it was like I either sit down and stay in Omaha, or I go talk to my boss. So I made the decision right there to walk around, talk to my boss, and ask him if I could be the California rep because they're trying to hire somebody in California. And he said yes. And then the senior vice president, who was a SIG-Up, he said yes. So it got me to move out to California. And the crazy thing is, I get a raise, I get all the move paid for, and those two girls wouldn't call me back for a few weeks, so I ended up moving out by myself. And they eventually did move out a few, 6 months later. I think they were just a little scared to get started, but it was definitely a fun time. And then, just once I was in California, I had to find the Alumni Association there and just, network with fellow UNK, lopers and participate in that. And it's just natural to participate and to volunteer and to do leadership. So I've just really enjoyed the experience and the community. And I know that now they're going to have some more meetings back in California to get some more alumni there. But it's been a great time doing that and serving. And I think just being part of Nebraska and the community and serving as part of campus, I love being here and serving in all the organizations and all the sports and the fraternity. But I think that just translates to everything within your life. And then right now, for my son Jack, so I'm the trail life, I'm the woodlands leader, so we're leading trail life and doing that, participating in there. So just look for those opportunities to serve in your community. They're bound. Everybody needs help right now, so it's just a matter of what you can do for that. And if you're ever faced with a hard decision, just say to yourself, quit your yapping and make it happen. Thank you very much.
The Distinguished Young Alumni Award is awarded to an outstanding alum within 15 years of their graduation. Please welcome Dusty Burge to the stage. Dusty Burge started his entrepreneurial journey in elementary school, selling candy stashed in his school locker to fellow students before starting Burge's Repair, a small engine repair shop in his hometown of Benkelman. The Dundee County High School graduate was a member of Sigma Phi Epsilon in Fraternity Council and was an admissions tour guide at UNK. He served as the president of the Industrial Distribution Organization and enjoyed helping student peers reach milestones through the annual Industrial Distribution Career Fair. Faculty and staff, including Dr. Jim Toppin, Dr. Greg Benson, Scott and Brenda Yoakum, Brett Wetton, Dusty Newton, Tracy Lundgren, and Josh Pierce were all instrumental in guiding Dusty through his educational experience. He worked his way through college, completed 2 internships, and then earned his industrial distribution degree in 2011. Dusty started his career at General Electric, completing the commercial leadership program, specializing in the industrial segment of the electrical industry. The skilled problem solver then began his entrepreneurial journey, starting 3 successful businesses in the past 7 years. In 2022, Dusty founded a startup in Kearney called Fast Forward and leads the organization as the Chief Executive Officer. Fast Forward uses vehicle cameras and computer vision to automate the inspection and line patrol of utility power lines. His prior startup businesses included UAV Recon and Big Hit Industries, both of which he successfully sold and exited. He has received numerous awards for his entrepreneurial efforts and was recognized as the 2022 UNK Emerging Entrepreneur. Other recent awards and recognitions include second place at Distributech a top 5 finish at the International South by Southwest Pitch Contest, 3rd place at the UNK Center for Rural Development Big Idea Contest, and was a 2022-2023 Nebraska Department of Economic Development grant recipient. Dusty and his wife Shay, also a UNK graduate, moved back to Kearney in 2018 to raise their 2 children. He's an avid outdoorsman and especially loves lake and river days when there's any kind of fishing involved. It's an honor to recognize Dusty Burge with this award.
Gosh, thank you so much. You know, when I look back, and the first time I called my mom, who's here with me today, she recently celebrated her 46th year of retirement at the same place that she was working when, she brought me up. And so when I called her and I said, hey, I know it's the first semester of campus, but I'm already going to switch some stuff up. I'm going to join a fraternity, and I'm going to sell stuff. And there was a long pause on the phone, and I don't know which part of it that caused the pause, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I came to campus, but I was a first-generation college student, and outside of who I met on campus, I really didn't know what I was doing. And so I met some gentlemen in the SIGAT fraternity, and I'm like, man, I really get along with these guys. And then I met some recruiters that were part of the industrial distribution program, and then later met Scott and Brenda Yoakum, and I'm like, that sounds like an occupation where I think I could make a living. I had an amazing experience on campus. In addition, I wish I would have taken that fifth year lap as well. But I had a great time, and what I really note is one of the most memorable things of being on campus is there's a lot of degrees, there's a lot of great professors, but I can only speak to the program that I went through. But I was taught not just skills, that I could prove with a degree, but I was taught really tangible things that I could use. And I later went to work in the corporate world and had the courage that I'm going to start my own first business. And at the time, my wife and I, it was just her and I out in Colorado, and she's like, give it a try. Like, what do we got to lose? And so she encouraged me, and I quit my corporate job to start my first business. And through that, we were then expecting our first child. In making that decision of, man, we've never raised kids before, and I actually had never held a child until we gave birth to David. So making that decision of, what are we going to do? And we chose to come back to Kearney. Yes, we're close to family, but it was a good community that we knew that we could raise a good family here. And I've been on campus a handful of times, had a great business experience. But through all of that and all the skills that I've learned, both through the UNK program and as a career of doing startups, Maven was 3, and she come running home one afternoon after work, and it was just another day for me, but she run up and give me a hug, and she goes, how's business? And I thought, man, you are a spitting image of me selling candy out of a locker. So I'm very appreciative of my time on campus and deeply honored to receive an award like this. And I, in addition to myself being able to receive this, I can definitely attest that there's been hundreds and thousands of students that have had great experiences just like me, that some unfortunately go unnoticed, but the representatives and individuals that help us along the way, it's really cool to see still here today. I recognize some people from my time, that Alex Stratman and the Yokums are here, and even Lucas Dart, you're still here. I'm just super appreciative of this, and I can't thank everybody enough, and hopefully we can stay here and our kids can be Lopers someday too. So thank you.
In addition to the UNK Alumni Association Award, we are delighted to welcome 4 campus departments who also annually recognize outstanding alumni from their colleges. It is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Ting Lan Chen, the Gerald Feast Professor of Violin at UNK. She will present the Dr. Gary Thomas Distinguished Music Alumnus Award to Justin Zaleski.
Dr. Justin Zaleski earned a bachelor's in music education K through 12 in 2005 from UNK. He also holds a Master of Arts Education from American Intercontinental University and a Doctor of Education from Kansas State University. While as a student at UNK, Justin was a member of the Pride of the Plains Marching Band, Wind Ensemble, and served as the president of the Kappa Kappa Psi National Band Honors Fraternity. He performed with the Kearney Area Symphony Orchestra and many area bands and small ensembles. Apples during football games, playing during President Clinton's stop in campus, a running storybook where fellow students could add a line to the story started in the notebook in the music lounge, drumming parties, and playing Highway 30 Frogger linger fondly in Justin's college memories. But also, so do formative faculty like Drs. Schnorr, Davis, Walker, and Dr. Chen, Rogoff, and Buckner have become colleagues in recent years. The Grand Island Northwest High School graduate started his career in education as a K-12 instrumental and general music teacher at Franklin Public Schools here in Nebraska before serving as the Clark County, Nevada Public Schools 6th through 8th orchestra teacher for 12 years. In 2018, Justin moved to Omaha and is now the orchestra director and strings teacher at Miller West High School, Roller Elementary, and Black Elk Elementary. In addition to his instructional duties with Miller Public Schools, Justin serves on the curriculum drafting team. He is an active member of the American String Teachers Association, serving as the secretary of the Nebraska chapter. Justin has been the recipient of several honors for his work in and out of the classroom, including being a Fulbright Program Scholarship recipient in 2018, named to the Marquis School in Education in 2022, and was a 3-time finalist for the Smith Center's Heart of Education Award. He is also a member of the Phi Kappa Phi Honorary. Justin and his wife Amy have 2 children. He regularly performs around the Omaha area, holds a 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo, considers himself a lifelong learner, and is currently researching lifelong participation in music curriculum, and the promotion of musical learning, especially in rural and low socioeconomic schools. His efforts to break down music education barriers are commendable. For everything he has done for students and hopes to do in the future, it is my honor to present this award to Dr. Justin Zaleski.
So, if anybody else in here is a teacher, you know that we just pretty much put our heads down and hustle all day long. And when you hear it read back to you like that, you know, I'm realizing I did some stuff. So I want to, first of all, when I was here at UNK, I didn't necessarily think that I was ever going to do anything that was going to put me up on a cool stage like this, other than if I was going to be playing the music accompanying whatever else was going on. Also, homecoming had a bit of a different meaning to me as a marching band student. It usually meant get up early, put on some heavy drums, and march for miles. All that being said, I've left, and now I am coming back for this special event and for this award. And it does feel like a homecoming to come back to here. There's something very special, not just about this campus, but about being in music school. It's a different way of having instruction brought to you. You develop more close relationships with your professors because you're not only going to their classes, you're spending this time with them one-on-one. And they have a personal invested interest in developing your skills so that you can go out and do the things that you need to do. And being able to come back to this campus, and every time I do come back, and not as often as I'd like, but when I do come back, it always feels like coming back home in many ways. So with that in mind, I know they were already listed a little bit. Thank you to Dr. Campbell, especially Dr. Chen, and I got a shout out to Dr. Schnorr. If anyone here knows Dr. Schnorr, he was like a personal mentor to me. He helped me get my first job in Franklin because his wife was the principal there, and they needed someone there, and I didn't want to take it, but Teresa was very convincing. So, but I ended up taking it. It was a great thing. Having teachers who go out of the way like that and help you land that first job, that help you develop that way, that is what makes UNK special, but especially makes the music school that we have here special. Because not only are they advocating for us as students and they're really good teachers, but they're amazing performers. If you have not gone to see some of the recitals yet, you need to find a way to get over here and see them. Especially Dr. Buckner's recitals blows me away. It was a highlight every time we were here. So, with all this being said, I just want to say thank you to the school. Thank you again to my professors. Thank you to my wife, Amy, for putting up with me all these years and having to deal with all the stuff I do. My boys, Sammy and Hattie, I want to give a shout out to both of them. Thank you for being cool kids and letting me do what I do every day and teach. And thank you all for listening to me talk about how wonderful this school is. And I hope that going into the future, we can maintain the wonderful arts programs that we have, because it is a gem, okay? Dr. Crocker, my first time here, said that the UNK was one of the best kept secrets in the Midwest. And he didn't mean that as a bad thing. He meant that as in, like, it was special. But it is a gem. And it doesn't need to be a secret. And I love that we're promoting it. I'm doing everything I can to get my students to come over here so that everyone knows how great the education is in the music department over here. So thank you for this award, and thank you for supporting the arts.
Our next award is named in honor of legendary chemistry professor, Dr. Don Fox. Please welcome chemistry professor Dr. Chris Ekstrom as he introduces this year's Dr. Donald E. Fox Distinguished Chemistry Alumna Award recipient, Dr. Ruth Harding.
It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ruth Harding, a Columbus native who graduated from UNK in 2006 with a Bachelor's of Science degree in chemistry. She was an outstanding student. She was a member of the Alumni Association's Gold Torch Society, Chi Omega, the Honor Program, Mortar Board, Phi Kappa Phi Honorary, the Chemistry Club, and the National Residence Hall Honorary. She graduated magna cum laude. But what was extra special for us in the chemistry department was her research in pertaining to germanium-based solar cell materials. Her work not only laid the foundation for about $2 million in grants from the Department of Energy that we would get shortly after, but it raised the level of excellence in undergraduate research that we now see in Bruner Hall and across our campus. After graduating, Ruth obtained a master's degree in forensic chemistry and a PhD in analytical chemistry from Michigan State. She has spent the last 13 years at the Global Security Directorate at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in Livermore, California. Ruth's current role as an operations manager combines her passions for scientific research and safety management, enabling her to contribute to the research at a Department of Energy National Laboratory by helping to plan work safely, perform safety oversight, and enable researchers to complete their mission deliverables. She has been the recipient of the Lawrence Scholar Graduate Student Fellowship, R&D 100 Award, and 2 Directors Institutional Operational Excellence Award. This afternoon, she will be presenting her lecture From Decomposing Pigs to the Pentagon, to the Nobel Peace Prize, to nuclear nonproliferation. Highlights from a non-traditional chemistry career at a national laboratory. This will be at 2:30 p.m. today in Copeland Hall. Please help me in honoring Dr. Ruth Harding.
Wow, thanks for all those kind words, Dr. Ekstrom. Can't believe it's been 17 years since I graduated, but thank you to the Alumni Association also for this award and the Department of Chemistry. I was surprised the previous two speakers kind of stole some of my points, Dusty and Justin, about how this happened recently. We were doing a safety walkthrough, and my coworker and I were watching these scientists doing this operation. They were filling like a sphere with some low pressure, and I'm like, I can just see in my mind, I was in this chemistry lecture hall, and we were learning these concepts, and I'm like, I do not remember any of that. But that's not important. I mean, I could figure it out if I had to. But the point is, my professors, now my colleagues, which is a big honor for me, they instilled the confidence that and the approach that you can do this, and then you can really go on and do anything and touch the world in ways you never thought you would. So again, I appreciate the UNK campus a lot. It's hard living in California trying to explain a school of this size and the magnitude of impact it had on my life. So we really appreciate the opportunity to come visit, and thank you for this award. It's so great to be back on campus. And of course, thank you to my family that has supported me, my husband and my 3 girls, and then my cousins are here. So thank you to my family for all the support, and thank you for this award.
It's my pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Mark Reed, Dean of the College of Education. Dean Reed will present the College of Education Distinguished Educator of the Year Award to Maureen Nichols.
I love this event because it's a celebration of teaching. We heard Justin, a music teacher up here. Don't you know he's changing lives every day in his classroom? We heard Tim testify about his 9th grade English teacher changing lives. It's my pleasure to introduce to you an educator who spent 49 years changing lives. I'm pleased to welcome this year's Distinguished Educator of the Year award recipient, Maureen Nichols. Maureen, or Mo, as everyone calls her, has spent the past 49 years serving as a classroom teacher, education advocate, and elected public official. Mo is an Anselmo native and an Anselmo Mona Public Schools graduate. She earned her Bachelor of Arts degree in elementary education with a special education minor from Kearney State College in 1974. She also received her Master of Arts in Education from Kearney State in 1978. Mo is part of a long line of UNK and Kearney State College graduates, including her older brothers, a niece, great-niece, and 2 great-nephews. After college, she spent 26 years as an elementary teacher for Grand Island Public Schools. Her classroom efforts were recognized with multiple awards, including honors from the Cooper Foundation, Peter Kiewit Foundation, United Nations Kids Saving the Earth Award, President's Environmental Youth Award for Region 7, and the Wings Over the Platte Award. She was also a finalist for the Krista McCullough Courage and Excellence in Education Award in 1987. In 2000, Mo left the classroom and joined the Nebraska State Education Association as an organizational specialist and retired staff liaison. During her time at NSEA, she developed and facilitated the intergenerational mentoring program, which placed retired teachers and mentors for college students training to become classroom teachers. She retired in 2017. But I promise you, retirement has not slowed her down. Mo served 2 terms on the Nebraska State Board of Education, serving as president in 2020 and 2021. And let me tell you, this was not an easy time to serve, and many of you know that. And she did it with such grace and dignity. Thank you for that. And she was a member of the National Association of State Boards of Education from 2015 to 2022. In 2022, she was honored as the NASBE Distinguished Service Award recipient. Mo currently serves on the Heartland Court Appointed Special Advocates, or CASA, Board of Directors, is an officer for the Platte Valley Retired Education Association, is an advocate for the Grand Island Literacy Council, and is a community volunteer for the Nebraska AARP. Mo's college experiences as a member of Alpha Phi Panhellenic Student Education Association of Nebraska and volunteer for the World Affairs Conference deepened her love for UNK. She served on the UNK Alumni Association Board of Directors with 1 year as president. She and her late husband Gary have one daughter, and Mo loves to spend time in the great outdoors with her dogs when she's not volunteering or traveling. Mo stated that she has always wanted to do just what she loves with a desire to make a difference or leave a bit of legacy in being a role model for our next generation. Mo's nominator supported this, noting that she always wants to do what is best for the kids, whether that is in the classroom or in considering changes in policy and standards. It certainly seems she's been successful in leaving a mark on the education of children across Nebraska. Mo will also be recognized as part of the One Room, One Teacher introduction ceremony this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. in the College of Education atrium. And she's told me that her presentation is going to change the face of education in Nebraska. Maybe that's not exactly what she said, but obviously with her legacy, I'm looking forward to what she has to say. It is my pleasure to present this award to Maureen Nichols.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did all those things. I have to say that I am filled with enormous gratitude today in receiving this prestigious award from a school, as Justin so eloquently said, is a hidden gem. It truly is. I have so many great memories from this institution. It holds a very special place in my heart. It's where I first learned that life should never be about a destination, but simply a journey along the way to enjoy. Doors opened and opportunities awaited once I crossed the graduation stage in 1974. There's a saying, no matter where life takes you, never forget the people and the places that shaped you into the person you are today. Your roots are the ties that bind you to your past, your present, and your future. They are the foundation of your character and your source of strength. Treasure them and let them guide you on your journey. And that I have done. My professional career has been one of great many successes, but it all started at UNK, Kearney State College. I didn't receive and I didn't achieve my success alone. I am indebted to the many teachers and professors along the way that never gave up on me, who kept reminding me, you can do this. As school was not always easy for me, even from the very start as a first grader. In the working world, I had amazing leaders guiding me. Missing today are 3 individuals that were most influential in my education, shaping my life and keeping my wings fluttering. They live in heaven. My mom, my dad, and Gary. My mom often reminded me, surround yourself with positive and kind people. They will lift you up. And as I look around this room, there are many faces of people that I've met through the university over the years and worked with through the Alumni Association. But I am blessed beyond measure with the family and friends in attendance to share this time with me today. My dear daughter, Chelsea, my brothers, Howard and Philip, their lovely wives, Linda and Susan. Linda at the last minute could not join us. My Alpha Phi sisters, Diane, Barbara, and Judy. my passport posse of Lori, Arlene, and Rhonda, and Cupcake is here too. And my dear friends, Monty, Sue, Cheryl and John, Christy, Yvette, and Liz. I have such a tribe of wonderful human beings that have made me a better human. Thank you each for celebrating with me this moment. To the rest in the room, please know that each of these individuals have been with me through many wonderful, wonderful times in my life, both professionally and personally, and in some of my deepest and darkest moments and saddest moments in the last 12 months. But they again have made me a better human being. I can't thank them enough for their love, their friendship, their kindness, and never-ending support when I needed them the most. And as I often say, we are stronger together. Congratulations to the other selected alumni winners here today. Like me, each of you have a story to tell of how important this university is to us. And I am simply so proud to stand with each one of you today. In closing, yes, we have had 3 generations of Gaffneys in this institution, starting with my oldest brother in 1965. I'm certain there will be more to follow because there is a tribe coming. And thank you again to UNK for this prestigious award and the luncheon, to Diane for nominating me, and to those celebrating this award with me and the other award winners. Yes, UNK is a very special place, and as Justin said earlier, a hidden gem. And this place will always have a special place in my heart. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tim Jarris, Dean of the College of Business and Technology. Dean Jarris will present the College of Business and Technology Distinguished Alumnus Award to Alexi Wilman.
Thanks, Oki. You know, never fails. I come to this event, I get a little bit choked up, and I walk out of this room like there's a big, strong wind behind my sail. It's really fun to come to this event and hear these stories. And, we will have, in just a minute, the 9th of 9 stories, very inspiring stories about very special people. And each year, they almost seem to get better, and it's amazing to me. So I'm going to introduce today Lexi Wilman. She is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Altaba. I'm still working on it. Formerly, which you may or may not have heard of, but you certainly have all heard of Yahoo, which is the predecessor company. Altaba is an independent closed-end management investment company. Alexi was previously Altaba's CFO and Chief Accounting Officer from 2017 to 2022 before her appointment as CEO. She has held executive roles at Yahoo and Nebraska Book Company. Many of us probably remember that one as well, and was a partner at KPMG, one of the big 8 back in the day, one of the big 4 today. Alexi's held numerous board positions and is currently director and chair of the audit committee at Werner Enterprises and at ESS Incorporated. Alexi is an ardent supporter of the Nebraska startup ecosystem, serving as an investment committee member for Springtide Venture Capital and Move Venture Capital. He is a board member of Unimed, is an angel investor, a supporter of NTC corporate pitch days, and provides ongoing support to numerous early-stage companies. Additionally, she shares her knowledge on innovation, empowerment, and leadership as a speaker, yesterday and today, in a few of our classes for our students. Alexi volunteers her time working with underserved youth, with Omaha to revitalize inner city areas of Omaha, and she is also an assistant coach for the Bryan High School girls basketball team.
Alexia is a La Vista High School graduate and now resides in Papillion. She and her husband Scott have 3 children. They all love their family time, especially their family dinners. While in college, Alexia was a member of the women's basketball team, the Accounting Society, Campus Crusade, and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Also, a fair amount of intramural sports, as I understand. We also started the recycling program here on campus. She and her college roommates still get together every year. She earned her bachelor's degree in business administration with an accounting minor in 1992 and is a licensed CPA. Alexi is a wonderful role model for our students. Support from Alexi and others like her is making a huge difference in the development of new business in Nebraska. It's my honor to recognize Alexi Wellman with this award.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. So I am very thankful to be up here today. And as you saw in those pictures, there was a lot of great support behind me. So I think if you guys have probably heard of the saying, behind any great woman is a great man, or something like that, would be the case for me. I have a great man behind me. He could not be here today. Recently, he was diagnosed with stomach cancer and is a fighter and is doing great, but just couldn't make it today. So I do want to thank an individual that's here today with me that's representing not only my husband, my 3 children, and my parents, who are no longer with me, is my college roommate, Donna. My best years were here at Kearney, and I'd like to say I was the best student. I was not. I am a hands-on learner, and so I did much better once I got out in the real world. But the relationships I built here were the best. It was not the fraternity sorority type, so the group of our house of 10 females became the chick factory. So if you saw the pictures in the middle, those are the chicks that we still get together today regularly. So those relationships, and I know you guys can all attest to that in your own life, those relationships are the things that really matter and which are really priceless. When I was coming and thinking about today, it really was the relationships that stood out in the past for me. And then getting here, I did have the opportunity, thanks to Tim, to speak with various classes and the faculty here. And what excited me more was what has been done since and what's coming in regards to UNK. I am just astounded by the progress that has been made, the things that have been put in place for these students now to have real hands-on experiences in various majors. So to me, it's about the steps forward and not spending too much time in the back, and that's probably why I love people like Dusty, who are, I brought you right in there, who are entrepreneurs and looking for innovation and new ways to do things, and I love seeing what I saw here, and that UNK is doing that too. So I'm proud to be a Loper, and I thank you for this honor.
Wow, what a wonderful group with so many accomplishments across the spectrum. We are all proud of you and how you represent our alma mater. One of the best ways to measure the success of any university is to look at the graduates that they produce. Based on today's honorees, I think we can all agree UNK is very successful. At the conclusion of the luncheon in a few minutes, we would like to take a group picture of all recipients, so we please ask that you come to the side when we're done. Let's hear it again for all of our award recipients. Congratulations. It is looking like great football weather tomorrow, maybe a little too warm, but the parade starts at 10 a.m. on the bricks in downtown Kearney. Then you're invited to join us at the Loper Brews and Broads tailgate in Loperville at Cope Stadium starting at noon. We'll have fun at the tailgate until the Lopers kick off against Washburn at 2. We hope to see you at all of our events. A time-honored tradition to conclude the awards luncheon is the singing of the UNK alma mater. The words are on your program and on the screen. We are honored to have the UNK Collegium led by Dr. John Petzett leading us. If everyone can please stand, sing along, and enjoy. Have a great weekend.